I'm Susanna from Searle, Waldron Architects, and I'm going to be presenting the Entry Furniture and Display Plinths at the RMIT Design Hub today. I guess you could characterise this as kind of both a functional and sort of a creative installation on the ground floor foyer space. The Faculty of Architecture and Design moved and relocated into the Design Hub in 2016. And the entry foyer had been probably a fairly underutilised circulation-only space. It had informal use. People would sort of sit on the bench seat and try to occupy it. It didn't engage students or staff or building users in any kind of productive way. The school brief for the design was to activate it and create a breakout space for students and staff. When they relocated into the building, there was kind of a lack of opportunities for students within the building because of the constrained floor plates. And they also wanted to create a new entry experience that would actually express something of the school's identity as a place of colour and joy and kind of, I guess, experimentations in form. So this activation was to be multi-use. The brief was quite broad in some sense. They wanted students to activate a zone that could connect the interior with a wider urban context as well, potentially capturing glimpses from the street and kind of telling people that the faculty existed within the building. It was part of RMIT's kind of connection to a broader street and urban campus. The project is gold. There's a light, bright and joyful use of colour that reflects many of the contextual aspects of the intervention. For the students, there's a reference to the wayfinding colours in the current home in the Architecture and Design Hub, as well as a reference to the past home in Edwin Corrigan's RMIT Building 8 with its distinctive gold window frames referencing Harsharoon. The gold hues were also a tribute to the site's history as the prior location of the Carlton United Brewery. So this project's kind of located on the junction of the Swanston Street Civic Spine. It's a single datum, it's conceived as a single datum that extends from the northern to the southern entry points, drawing from the changing levels across the entry ramp. We conceived of the installation as a series of horizontal datums that would connect those two entry points. It's a mediating zone. The wrong thing. That probably shows you a little bit clearly the datums and how it crosses along the section of the ramp. It's located behind the significant Design Hub street frontage, which is characterised by a repeating circular facade discs. These allow glimpses into the foyer interior, and the repeated grid geometry of the furniture responds to the rhythm and repetition of the facade. The datums and alignments work hard to utilise existing building elements, including the incline of the ramp, and the existing concrete window sill edges. The project's playful character conceals its serious solutions to tricky problems. Non-combustibility and fire was a major challenge for the compliance of the project. So, the foyer is actually an internal discharge for the building's fire-isolated stairs, and as such, nothing combustible could occupy the space, or the furniture would need to be separated to such an extent that it would really minimise the use for students and staff. So we explored a number of different fire strategy options, including an option put forward by the school that would have incorporated airlocks at either end of the ramp and would have changed the iconic entry experience of the existing building significantly. An alternate strategy was proposed and developed that prioritised occupation of the entire corridor space, allowing the furniture to be closely located together and avoided spatially dividing the ramp. By focusing on non-combustible material selections, we minimised any permanent impact on the existing spaces and avoided the need for any fire compartmentalisation. Powder-coated steel frames, perforised anodised panels and equitone sheet tops were both non-combustible and also lightweight, reducing any ramp loadings which also needed to be minimised, but being strong enough to withstand the load of large groups of students sitting on them. The project's form conceptually started as a wedge of maximum occupation, taking away the kind of required circulation zones along the western side. Furniture was carved into the volume, spaces subtracted for circulation, for DDA access and wheelchairs to pull up. And then for the furniture carved to create varying height datums, ideal for seating, tables and display plinths, kind of a curating of human scale relationships within this larger singular object. Students working on these multiple spatial conditions engage with a range of users, from temporary occupations to waiting and casual encounters, spaces that encourage longer moments of residency. Students were working on a laptop for their lecture, staff having casual meetings with PhD candidates, the faculty hosting end of semester exhibitions and openings. To cater for the ever-changing needs of a design school, this is essentially an overflow space and it takes on multiple roles. The design tested and speculated on modes of furniture and occupation that the school would require. There is an area for waiting next to the lift, seats and tables and benches for studying, plinths for displaying models. It provided new forms of inhabitation, teaching, learning, meeting, exhibiting, waiting, collaborating, contemplating. There's a spot for you to wait while your lecture starts, and there's a pop-up bar.
Sorry to miss that.
Rather than a permanent fixture in the building, the character of the installation is that it sits somewhere between interior joinery and exterior furniture. No upholstery or timber allowed. It's a compact installation, but in some sense, although it's been not so tested during COVID, it produces a vastly outsized impact on the space's experience, flexibility and usability. A singular intervention that we attempted to make work in multiple ways to activate an underutilised space, create multiple uses, a sense of arrival and a bold and colourful identity for the school. Thanks.